In 2024, something happened in Southeast Asia that no one, not even the most seasoned global analysts, predicted. 42 million people didn't just visit Malaysia, they chose it over the world's most legendary travel capitals. But figures only tell half the story. The real secret was hidden at a small mamak stall in Kuala Lumpur at 11 o'clock at night. A couple from Sweden landed in Kuala Lumpur for the third time in 2 years. When I asked them why, they told me 5 words that completely changed how I see Malaysia. Here, we are not tourists. Today, I'm revealing why 42 million people are choosing this land over Paris or Tokyo, and the secret social code that makes it feel like home the moment you land. She explained that in other countries, they felt like a transaction, a number on a ledger, a walking wallet to be managed. But here, they felt like guests. They felt like they had been invited into a home they didn't know they owned. By the time we finish today, you will understand why the world isn't just visiting Malaysia anymore, they are staying. And why, once you leave, a piece of your heart stays behind, tethered to the humidity and the hospitality of this land. Let's look at the signal those 42 million people are sending. For decades, Thailand was the undisputed king of Southeast Asian tourism. It was the land of smiles, the default destination for anyone with a backpack and a dream. But quietly, without a massive global marketing budget or aggressive, flashy campaigns, Malaysia overtook it. Why did this happen now, in 2026? It happened because of a profound shift in what the world values. We live in an era of the great polishing, where every city starts to look like every other city, and every experience feels curated and sanitized for Instagram. In the latest Global Soft Power Index, Malaysia jumped to 25th in the world for people and values. That is higher than countries with 10 times our marketing budget and a century more of global positioning. But what does 25th in people actually look like on the ground? It isn't a trophy or a certificate. It looks like an uncle in Penang giving a tired backpacker a cup of white coffee after noticing her shoulders were slumped and she looked like she needed a moment of kindness. There was no charge, no expectation of a tip, and no social media team filming the interaction. It looks like 3 strangers walking a lost traveler 15 minutes out of their way in the midday heat of Chowkit, then disappearing into the crowd before they can even be thanked. This isn't a government campaign or a scripted hospitality protocol. It is a reputation built one human interaction at a time, millions of times a day. The stats explain that people are coming, but they don't explain how that Swedish couple felt remembered, rather than just serviced. We'll get to that specific secret in a moment. But first, we have to look at the land itself. Most countries perform culture for tourists. They build special heritage zones that feel like museums. They polish the edges until the grit and the soul are gone, and they package traditions into 60-minute shows at 5-star hotels where you watch from a distance. But Malaysia never learned to perform. The soul of this country is found in its lack of a filter. The mamak at 2 in the morning isn't open for the tourist experience or the vibe. It's open because Malaysians eat at 2 in the morning, because that is where the night shift workers, the students, the CEOs, and the poets all meet to complain about the heat and argue about the latest football scores. The uncle playing chess in the Kopitiam in Malacca isn't a cultural exhibit designed to look authentic. He is just living his life, exactly as his father did. I once spoke to a Canadian woman who told me that Malaysia is the only place where diversity isn't a talking point or a political slogan. It is a lived reality. She described a scene that most Malaysians take for granted: a Malay uncle, a Chinese auntie, and an Indian brother arguing about the national team at a hawker center like they'd been friends for 50 years. They weren't celebrating their differences from separate, polite tables. They were sharing the same wooden table, fighting over the last piece of roti canai. That shared table is why people come back. In a world that feels increasingly divided, fragmented, and lonely, Malaysia feels like a reminder of what humanity is supposed to look like when we just sit down together and eat. But there is a practical, almost surreal reason for this comeback effect, too. Malaysia is a weird mix of worlds. You can look at the skyline and see buildings that look like they're from 2050 shaming cities that have way more money, and then drive 2 hours and be inside a jungle that's older than the dinosaurs. Step into Taman Negara, a rainforest that is 130 million years old. Let that number sink in. This forest was ancient when the dinosaurs were still walking the earth. It is older than the Amazon, older than the Congo. For a family from Germany or Australia, Malaysia isn't just a good option, it is the only logical one. They can have a world-class luxury dinner in a skyscraper, a prehistoric jungle trek the next morning, and a sunset on a pristine beach in Langkawi by evening, all within a 2-hour radius and for a fraction of the cost of a weekend in London or Zurich. I met a German family who has visited 5 times. Their children have Malaysian friends. They message every day, debating which video game is better, or sharing photos of their pets. Their father told me something I'll never forget. He said that other countries gave his kids a formal education, but Malaysia gave them a heart for the world. It taught them that you don't need to speak the same language to share a laugh or a meal. But the reason people stay isn't just the skyline or the 130-million-year-old trees. It's because of something much more personal, the way Malaysians actually communicate. Because here, we don't use words to say I love you, we use a plate of food. And then, we have to talk about the food. In most parts of the world, food is fuel. It is something you do between tasks. In Malaysia, food is the national language. It is the way we say I love you, the way we say welcome home, and the way we bridge the gap between a stranger and a friend. We don't ask how are you, we ask, have you eaten yet? Whether it's the perfect, smoky char siu in a hidden alleyway in Ipoh, the rich, comforting coconut aroma of nasi lemak at dawn, or the complex, earth-shaking spices of a banana leaf meal, the flavors here aren't just tastes, they are memories etched into your DNA. People leave Malaysia and spend the rest of their lives trying to find a laksa that tastes just like the one they had under a plastic umbrella while the monsoon rain hammered on the roof. They realize that the world's most expensive, Michelin-starred restaurants can't replicate the soul of a Malaysian street stall because you can't bottle the atmosphere, the heat, and the genuine smile of the person who cooked it. It is a sensory anchor that pulls you back across oceans. Wait, before we go deeper, I have to address the one thing every foreigner finds confusing. The Malaysian boss. If you've ever walked into a shop and been called boss by someone you've never met, you've just experienced our secret hierarchy of respect. It's funny, but it's actually the key to our culture. There is also the silent ease of Malaysia. For many Westerners and even other Asians, the world is becoming a difficult place to navigate. Visas are hard, the cost of living is skyrocketing, and the feeling of being an outsider is growing. But Malaysia has mastered the art of the open door. From the digital nomad seeking a high-speed connection and a low-cost life, to the retiree looking for a place where their pension actually buys them a life of dignity, Malaysia offers a middle path. It is modern enough to be comfortable, but traditional enough to have a soul. It is affordable enough to be accessible, but high quality enough to be desirable. This balance is rare in the 21st century. It's why you see so many people who came for a 2-week holiday still here 2 years later, having traded their winter coats for linen shirts and their stressful commutes for a slow stroll to the local market. To every Malaysian listening to this, you might not realize the weight of the magic you carry in your everyday actions. The way you give directions and end up driving the person there yourself because it's on your way and you have 5 minutes to spare. The way your festivals are not closed-door celebrations for your own community, but open-house invitations for the entire neighborhood. The world didn't rank Malaysia high for friendly people because of a clever marketing slogan or a catchy song. They did it because of you. You are the reason a solo traveler from Canada felt safe enough to explore the night markets at midnight. You are the reason a businessman from Tokyo decided to move his headquarters to Selangor. Landmarks give you photos for your phone. Malaysia gives you stories for your life. Sites give you a trip. Malaysia gives you a reason to return. The Swedish couple at the mamak stall? I asked them if they would return a 4th time, perhaps next year. The wife smiled, looked at her husband, and told me they had already booked their next flight for the following summer before they had even landed for this trip. She said that once you experience the heart of this place, everywhere else feels a little too quiet, a little too cold, and a little too lonely. That is the heart of Asia. It isn't a place you visit to tick off a bucket list. It's a place that stays with you. A quiet voice in the back of your head reminding you that there is a table waiting for you, a warm breeze calling your name, and a plate of food that tastes like home. Once you find it, you're never truly gone. You're just a Malaysian who hasn't come back yet. You are just waiting for the next chance to step off that plane. Feel the humidity hit your face like a warm hug, and realize that you aren't a tourist anymore. You're home.